Shri Vishnu Sahasranama, name 188. Suranandah. So this name can very easily be understood. Sura means demigod or devotee, and Ananda means bliss. Happiness, bliss, there are different words for the same thing. So, he who gives happiness to the devotees and to the demigods, who is their happiness, they take happiness in him. Demigods, they are generally known as sakama bhaktas, which means that they're devotees, but they have material desires. A real devotee does not have material desires. A devotee doesn't want anything of this world. But the demigods, they do have material desires. And those desires are fulfilled by Bhagavan. Actually, he's not only the giver of happiness to the demigods, but he's also the giver of happiness to even to the demons, because whatever happiness they experience, everything comes from Krishna. So whatever they experience as happiness, that's also coming from Krishna, but indirectly. And generally the demons, they suffer much. Whereas the demigods, Krishna, he looks after them. They perform functions on his behalf in the administration of the universe. And it's not that they're not devotees, I mean they are devotees, but they're not on the platform of pure devotees who are nishkam bhaktas. So the happiness that the demigods experience in relation to Bhagavan, that is nothing as much as the pure devotees who are niskinchan. They have nothing in this world but Krishna. They have no desire but to serve Krishna. They don't care for the position of Brahma or Indra. That Sri Prabodhananda Saraswati says that Vidhi Mahendra Dishchakitayate. He says that for someone who's even got a slight glance of the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the position of Brahma and Indra seems no more insignificant than that of a little insect. Is of no consequence to the pure devotees. So, Bhagavan, he gives pleasure to the demigods. Their pleasure is in overseeing the universe and enjoying themselves, and they serve Vishnu, but it's somewhat like a business deal. It's not that they don't have affection, but it's affection which is not on the purely transcendental platform. And they also appreciate to see the beautiful form of the Lord, but their appreciation cannot be like that of the pure devotees. So, generally, everyone in this world who is pious, they are mixed devotees. They approach Krishna. They may not call him Krishna. We can hear some sound in the background. That's the calling out from the mosque. So they're also calling to Krishna. But generally the whole system of what is called religion in this world is all mixed up with material desires. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is teaching something quite different. That even though people in this world, they generally approach God, who they may call Allah, or they may call God, English word, or whatever. Mostly they do so without any proper understanding. And they do so thinking that, well, I'll pray to him and he'll give me whatever I want for being happy in this world. So Srimad Bhagavatam is meant to, Srimad Bhagavatam is Krishna in the form of sound to remove such misconceptions and inform us that even if we have happiness of the level of Indra, which is practically not possible in this world anyway, especially not in Kuwait. If it was possible anywhere, it's not in Kuwait, that's for sure. Although so many people are here from India and other countries because they think it's... why have they come? They find it's better. What's better? Is the weather better than India? No. Is the social environment better than India? No. The only thing better is that you get more money, that's all. So that goes to show. Money equals happiness. It's the first equation you learn at school. 1 + 1 = 2 and money equals happiness. But it's not. It's miserable. How many of you would like to retire in Kuwait? How many of you feel great affection for this place, having lived here? No, nothing. So, well, even if you get the position of Indra with the beautiful Nandan Kanan, there's nothing. This whole material world, there's nothing. So this is to be understood. The Suranandah really means there are different levels of approaching that. Vishnu Sahasranama, that's often people, they chant that for material benefit also. But the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he asked Srivas Thakur to chant Vishnu Sahasranama, and Baladeva Vidyabhushan, our Gauriya Acharya, when he commented on Vishnu Sahasranama, he did not do so with the idea of thinking, let me get some material benefit. So it's a completely different approach. Both of them are devotional, but one is in a different attitude altogether. So those who are sakam bhaktas, those who are foolishly cultivating material desires, who think I will chant Hare Krishna and be happy in this world. So Krishna also fulfills their desire. But what is the use of such a desire? It's just a diversion on the path of what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu really wants, what he came to give us. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't come to give us another means of fulfilling our desires for eating, sleeping, mating and defending, but to teach us to go beyond that, all the way up to Krishna Prema. In fact, even the pure devotees, even if they have they also desire to be with Krishna and see Krishna, but they're always in a state of complete ecstasy, even if they don't see Krishna. Asrishava padaratang pinashtumam adarshanam marmahatam karotu va yatatata va vidatatu lampato mat prananatas sa eva napara. Even if devotees, their happiness is in being with Krishna. Radharani wants to be embraced by Krishna, but she says that even if Krishna crushes me, kicks me, or makes me feel, breaks my heart by not showing himself to me, still he is my Lord in all circumstances. So devotees, they always experience great bliss. In the material world, the happiness and distress is all distress. This is now we're going to quantum spirituality, where it doesn't seem to make any sense, but it's the higher level, where in the material world, distress equals distress, that's pretty clear, and happiness also equals distress. The happiness of this material world is also miserable. Indra is also miserable. And in Krishna consciousness, the happiness is happiness, that's actual happiness, and the distress is also happiness. So Krishna, he gives bliss always to the devotees. Krishna's very nature is bliss. And the devotees, they always think of Krishna, so they must always be in bliss. Even if they're separated from Krishna, just by thinking of him, because his very nature is bliss, then just by thinking of him, then they're automatically in blissful existence. Whereas one who wants material enjoyment from him, they get the happiness of material life, which is ultimately distress. But they do get some real happiness also because they're thinking of him and he is bliss. But they cut themselves off from the real channel of bliss by desiring material happiness. So, we should follow the path of the great devotees, especially Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has shown us, taught us how we should always be in Krishna consciousness, performing devotional service for his pleasure. Krishna, another name is given in Vishnu Sahasranama, that's already been given, Suradhyaksha. He is the regulator, the director, the supervisor of the demigods. But he's not the overseer of them in an exploitive way. He oversees, just like you may have in the factory there may be a supervisor. So the factory workers don't think of the supervisor as Mr. Bliss. The supervisor is someone who, in many cases, doesn't have such a good relationship with the workers, because the workers, they're always trying to do as little work as they can, and the supervisor's job is to get them to do as much work as they can. So there's a natural tension there. But it's different in the case of Krishna. He's overseeing the demigods. He oversees them. They perform their functions. They're demigods. They're not lazy, useless people. So they perform their functions very well, and they know that by doing so, Krishna will give us bliss. He rewards them. There's yad bhava bhavitadhiyo manajasthataiva samprapya rupa mahimasanayana bhusha suktairameva negama pratitaistu vanti govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. Krishna assigns to everyone their position. As according to the Vedas, if one performs all the different rituals, one should get certain position. So Krishna, he gives that for the demigods in the material world, and even beyond that in the spiritual world. So, the next name 189, is a very well-known name of Krishna, Govinda. Very popular name, and one of the best loved names. Srila Prabhupada, he translated this as he who gives pleasure to the cows, the land and the senses. There are many meanings. All the names can be interpreted and understood in many ways, but the primary meaning given by Srila Prabhupada is he who is the giver of pleasure to the cows, the land and the senses. And most important of all is the cows. Krishna is known as Go Brahmana Hit. Go Brahmana Hitakari, the one who always is mindful of the benefit of the cows and the Brahmanas. But of the two, he's more concerned with the cows. Just see what a horrible world we're living in, where there are no Brahmins and the cows are killed. Horrible situation. So, Govinda, very well-known name. Not all these names are very well-known. Suranandah isn't very well-known. So one name I just said, Mahadri Drik. How many of you have heard the name Mahadri Drik? You wouldn't know it unless you read Vishnu Sahasranama. It's not a very well-known name. But Govinda is a very well-known name. All over India, people know this name. And by the grace of Srila Prabhupada, now all over the world, this is well known. So Krishna gives pleasure to the cows and the land, and these are we have to rely on the cows and the land for the most basic need which in this world, which is food. So that all comes from the cows and the land, and that is nourished by Krishna. And the senses. The senses always desire gratification. Unless we have senses, then we are insensate. That means we're not living beings. Living being means there must be senses. If you can't see, touch, taste, smell, feel, hear or think, then what are you? You're just like a stone. So the interaction of the senses with the sense objects, it's actually quite mystical. We take it for granted because we do it all the time, but exactly what is it that, just like there's a picture of Narahari Dev Das on his wedding day, looks like, presumably. So, how is it that impression, that there's light, there's particular light falls on that object, and so we're told by our scientist friends or not so friends or whatever, that the light falls on because light is on there in a particular way, and there's different frequencies, so we see red, white and different colors, and then that travels and hits the retina, and then it gets turned upside down and then put up the right way again, and there's all this black horrible stuff inside the eye, and it gets registered here. And we see in 3 dimensions, it's all extremely complex. Similarly, hearing, you're all hearing now. Now. So you hear the word now. And it's just a sound, but that sound has a particular meaning. And when you hear it, then again, that sound travels through the air, and enters the ear, enters the mind, the consciousness, which is this. And then the word now, or all these different words, they have a particular meaning. We all understand what they mean, and then all the words get in the mind, all the words are received, and then they're decoded, and sentences are formed, and we get a certain meaning. So, and all the senses interact, because it's not just the sound, it may be the physical presence and the atmosphere that is made. For instance, if I do something like that, you may think it's very strange. You might start laughing. So, woo! Strange behavior. So it's the combination of the sound and the actions. And if you do a public speaking course, they'll teach you to look at everyone, keep eye contact, and keep on moving your hands, and speak in an impassioned voice so that everyone feels inspired to stay awake at least. So it's not just the sound, but the interaction of the seeing and the whole atmosphere that's going. What is going on in all of this? Govinda, he knows. How all the senses are interacting with the sense objects. It's all beyond our ability to understand. I mean, maybe neuropsychologists, they can explain something, but in a very mundane way, an incomplete way. The neuropsychologists, they might be able to explain something, but it's the actual experience, how we experience the senses, experience the sense objects. This mystic process is going on because of Govinda. So it's very good to call out Govinda, Govinda. As is the regular practice, particularly at Tirumala, where you stand in line for a long time, depending on how much you pay. You can get a free darshan, but you might have to wait a long time for that. And while you're waiting, you'll hear someone is calling out, or if you like, you can also call out, Govinda. Govinda. And then everyone else all around you will call out, Govinda. So it's a very dear name of the Supreme Lord, who is known as Krishna, Rama, Narayana, Madhusudana, Gopinath, Gopala, and Shyamasundar, Muralidhar, Vanshidhari, Kunjabihar. So many names, among which one of the very most popular is Govinda. So, one of the names, there are so many meanings of this name. The name just before this given is Suranandah, who gives pleasure to the demigods. So, one of the meanings of the name of Govinda is who is praised by the gods. They praise him because he helps them and gives them bliss. So they praise him. One of the meanings is who dug out the earth from the depths of the ocean. And many meanings, many evidences are given from different shastras. This meaning of Govinda is he who took the earth from the depths of the ocean. That's the name of Varahadev, obviously. So you may say, well, that's a very strange meaning, but you'll find in Mahabharata, you'll find many names of Krishna are given which might seem like unusual interpretations. So that you'll find that in Mahabharata there's a verse in which Krishna says, Nashtam vai dharanim purvam avindam vai guhagatam Govinda iti tenaham devar vagbir abhishtutaha. He says that I'm called by the name, the demigods and the scriptures refer to me as Govinda because I took the earth, which was carried away and hidden in the depths of the ocean. So you'll find various meanings there. Then another meaning is one who is reached by the Vedic chanting. By chanting the Vedas, one can reach Govinda. Or who is the abode of the Vedas. So that's another meaning of the name Govinda. If we chant the Vedas, that ultimate purpose should be, what is that? Sarve Vedair Yatpadamamananti. There's one purpose for all the Vedas. And that is Vedaishcha Sarver Ahameva Vedyaha. To know Krishna. So, by the Vedic chanting, we can reach to Govinda. It's very pleasing to hear the Vedic chanting. So that pleasure is given by Govinda, and by chanting that should ultimately bring us to him. Or one who is the abode of the Vedas. All the Vedas reside in him. So another meaning, this because go means not only cows, but it means words. So an important meaning of the name Govinda is that he pervades all words and gives them meaning. This whole process, as I was saying, the whole process of speaking and hearing, how we understand it, just like the word now, or if I say the word cow, alright, now I said the word cow. Then when I say cow, in my mind and in everyone's mind, the idea of a cow comes, right? The concept of a cow comes. A four-legged animal, usually quite big, although in Udupi they can be very small also. That gives milk, usually has horns. So a cow idea comes in the mind. And each word has meaning. Of course, some words have many meanings. But how how do the words have potency? How we are able to communicate by words and make ourselves understood. That is the potency that is within words. That comes from Krishna. So therefore he's called Govinda. He is present in all words. This is especially true in Sanskrit, and especially true of those words which describe Krishna, who is non-different from his name. When we say Govinda, Govinda is present. So he is present as those words. So Govinda, very well known as the protector of the cows. As the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he can do whatever he likes. Nothing can obstruct him. Yesterday we were discussing the name Aniruddha, which means he's unobstructed. He can do whatever he likes. No one can stop him. Whatever he wants to do, he can do. He can enjoy himself in any way that he likes. And he enjoys himself in various ways, as a bowman, as Ramachandra with his bow. Sometimes he likes to take the form of a pig, so he does. He takes the form of a dwarf, and his fun is cheating Bali Maharaj. So he does many different things according to his own desire. But in his original form, the thing that he likes to do the most, that he's most famous for, or even if he was not famous for it, it's not his concern. But what he likes to do, his real identity, is that he looks after the cows and gives them pleasure. And he's known as Govinda. So, how important are the cows? Because Krishna loves them more than others. And his favorite devotees are the gopis, who look after cows. So, why exactly? Well, that's just what he likes. Different people have different likes. Some people like to kill cows. They go to hell for that. Krishna likes to play a flute. Why a flute? Because that's good for calling the cows, and calls the gopis also. So Krishna can play whatever he likes. He could get out a saxophone if he liked. But he doesn't like that. He could, instead of having millions of cows, he could have millions of dogs. But he doesn't. He likes cows, not dogs. Well, he doesn't dislike the dogs, but he particularly likes the cows. So he's the protector of the cows. So this also indicates the importance of milk and ghee. These are all very important products for human society. Srila Prabhupada always emphasized that we require milk to nourish the tissues in the brain which are suitable for spiritual realization. Ghee is required for yajnas. Nowadays, if you want real ghee from real cows, you won't get it in Kuwait. Not at least in the store. Even in India, you have to search for that. You won't find it everywhere. I know where it's available, if anyone wants. There's one Goshala run by one of my disciples, and if you want real ghee from real desi cows, then you're going to have, it's 900 rupees a kilo. 900. And, 900. Yeah. This what you get, you buy in the stores, that's not going to be pure ghee. They may say on the packet pure ghee, but it's not. It's just like this Amul milk. They reconstituted, they make the milk from dried milk and all this. The real thing, from real, not from this foreign cows, but from real desi guy. That's just the price. I mean, of course they make some profit, but it's not excessive. So, anyway, that's another point. So, more meanings for the name Govinda. There are many, many meanings. Some are given here. Means he transcends heaven. He's beyond Swarga. He knows all weapons. He's the leader of the cows. He's known by the Vedas, as already said. Another meaning is that he has the marks of the Vajra, of the thunderbolt, on his feet. He is known in all quarters. He's known everywhere. He is the seer in every person. He is the orb of the sun. He is in the water. So these are some of the meanings of the name Govinda. Just I said, usually when I speak on different names, afterwards some other idea comes. So from last night, I spoke how Krishna even attacks and kills his own devotee, directly or indirectly. Even that was in the case of Bhishma, especially. Bhishma, he had this special relation with Krishna, Vira Rasa. He liked to fight Krishna in a loving relationship. But I said about Vali, how he was a devotee. That's true, but Rama killed Vali. Vali, he wasn't exhibiting being a devotee at all. He was materialistic. But it was only at the last moment that he showed some devotional symptoms. He didn't take shelter of Rama until the last moment. So that point should be clarified, that it's, in general, Krishna doesn't kill his devotees. I also, yesterday I spoke about Satam Gati, who is the ultimate destination of the devotee. The devotee, they're only interested in attaining Krishna. Everyone in this world has some desire, some goal, something that they want to attain. Everyone is always trying to get something. Everyone has some ambition, whether it's just to live peacefully in this world, which isn't possible, to have some pleasant position, to become Indra, to go to the heavenly planet. Everyone has some goal, but the devotee's only goal is to attain to Krishna. Again, they're not interested in anything else. They have no desire, only to serve Krishna, to be with Krishna. They only want Krishna. So, those who are asat, those who are not devotees, they have they also have a goal in life, but that is not Krishna. And devotees, they don't care for anything else, only Krishna. So, Hare Krishna. Any question about this? No question. Everything clear? Alright then, so we can finish there. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.